You're totally doing dating wrong, and it's killing your chances without you even knowing it. Let me show you why.
We're going live, baby.
We'll do it live.
You're listening to the premier podcast for men who want to not only be better with women, but want to be better men in general. This is the Come On Man podcast. And here's your host,
Paul Bauer.
Paul Bauer.
Paul Bauer.
Paul Bauer.
Paul Bauer.
Paul Bauer. He is a certified master life coach and NLP practitioner.
Happy hump day, guys. How's life treating you today? Get a load of this mug. Get a load of this shirt. One might say they're just too sweet. Am I right, baby? Anyway, we should have fun. Have a fun episode today. The new book drops on Friday. We're talking about one of the chapters today. And man, life is good. Life is good, man. Drop a 1 in the chat if life is good for you right now. If you are new to the channel, my name is Paul Bauer, and I help men level up and get better with women. And the funny thing about doing that is it tends to make us better men in all areas of our lives. Now, some of you guys know the feeling. Getting back into the dating scene can feel like stepping into a battlefield with no map. You've tried apps, maybe asked friends, or even watched some pickup videos, but nothing seems to be working. You see other guys crushing it while you feel invisible. It's not just frustrating, it's demoralizing. You start wondering, is something wrong with me? This episode isn't another list of tips. I'm going to walk you through a complete system built from personal experience and real-world testing that will get you back in the game with confidence. And it starts in just a few minutes. But first, guys, do be sure to like, subscribe, hit those notifications. I do have new episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday without fail. And every Wednesday for the foreseeable future is Breakup Wednesdays, where we talk about getting over that biatch and getting back out in the dating circuit, right? We do not talk about quitting. We are not a show for quitters. If you are a quitter, kick rocks, okay? Guys, drop some comments. I'd like to hear from you, okay? If you guys are in the wolf pack, drop some 2 sweets. You know what I'm talking about. Y'all know what I'm talking about. And guys, also, if you have questions, do consider sending those as super chats. That supports the show probably more than anything else. Plus, I can see it better on the back end. I can bring it up on the screen, and you can be a part of the show. All right, so let's talk about a big core problem, right? Men are approaching dating with outdated or incomplete strategies. Now, if you go online, you might find you'll find dating coaches out there, and most of them will be preaching one method to get girls, right? A lot of them will talk about cold approach. Hey, dating apps don't work. Cold approach is where it's at, brother. Right? You'll have some guys that teach social circle game, and they'll be like, hey, all this other stuff doesn't work. Social circle game's where it's at. Right? But the thing is that the game it's a game of leveraging 4 channels. There's basically 4 ways to meet women out there, right? 4 effective ways to meet women. I basically outlined those in my first book, Everything I Wish I Knew When I Was 18. But you have social circle game, you have the dating apps, you have cold approach, and you have social media. Those are your 4 methods, and they all work. They all work. Don't let anybody tell you, hey, dating apps don't work, bro. Only cold approach works, right? That's bull. There's a method to the madness. Most guys, they stick to one, and they don't have any success with it because they haven't worked on how to improve their game with that one method. And so they only try the one method. And when that doesn't work, they're like, dating sucks. Dating doesn't work. I'm never going to meet women or anything. I'm here to tell you, if I was able to meet Nurse Chick in the cow pasture out here in the middle of nowhere, if you're in a big city, you have 0 excuses. Zero excuses. I did a video years ago. This was actually, I think this was actually before I met Nurse Chick. And I left my notifications on. And I was on all the apps, right? One of the things that I teach, if you guys ever take my dating course, dates.comeonmanpod.com, if you guys ever take that course, one of the things that I talk about in there is how if you are in a geographically, dispersed area like me, where meeting women like organically is near impossible, especially if you like out here where I'm at. I'm in like primarily a retirement community. So if I go up to the supermarket up here in Cedar Edge, it's almost all like elderly people. It's almost all blue-haired 70-year-old women, right? Like there's no cold approach at the Merc up in Cedar Edge. So you have to get good at online dating. And the thing is that not all the women in the area are on all the apps. So in order to cast that wide net, you have to be on all the apps, right? So one of the things that I found was that since I was on all the apps, and I would have like notifications on and stuff like that. If I went to a big city, my phone would just be blowing the fuck up. Oh, I'm not at the 8-minute mark, guys. Send super chats. My phone would be blowing up with options. Chicks would be liking me all day long because there was just hundreds of thousands of women in like the bigger cities. I go to Denver, I go like Salt Lake City. My phone was just on fire with options, right? Out here in the cow pasture, I might get like 1 or 2 girls a week on the individual apps, right? I get maybe like 2 on Tinder and 1 on Match, or the next week it would be like 1 on Zeus and 2 on Bumble, right? Like it was very dispersed. But you go to a big city, you have hundreds of options, right? If you optimize your profile. We can get into all that later though. And we fall into the psychological trap of validation seeking behavior and scarcity mindset. What do I mean by that? Right? When you do finally get a hot one, right? Oh, I got a hot one. She's actually talking to me. You finally get one. What do most guys do? They go, oh, I finally got one. They go all in on the one. They forget about keep sourcing other women, right? They start getting addicted to that dopamine hit of her texting. They start developing anxiety when they send a text and she hasn't responded right away. They start going, oh my God, when she goes, right? And then like an hour goes by, 2 hours goes by, and you start thinking, what a bitch. What a effing bitch, right? We're not at the 8-minute mark, guys. Please send super chat. You start feeling this anxiety and you start getting all mad. And then when she finally texts, you're like, oh my God, the love of my life, right? And then you keep texting her, trying to keep that conversation going. That's validation seeking behavior. It's unattractive as hell, right? You haven't even met her yet, right? And then what do a lot of guys do too is they keep texting, trying to build up all this rapport for days and weeks on end before they develop enough courage to finally ask a girl out. And by the time they get there, she's already ghosted them, right? And then they're all heartbroken. Like, this bullshit, this doesn't work. But these guys, they have a scarcity mindset, right? So when they get one, now they go all in and they're like, oh, I better put all my eggs in this basket because I haven't had any other luck out here. I've got one live here. Let me go all in on this one. And I got to get off that dating circuit, right? I got to get off the dating circuit. And they develop this one-itis for this girl. They develop like these stories in their heads. We were talking about it in Wolfpack because we have a guy in there that he basically, he's going through this right now, right? He's got this girl. This was a real life girl though. And he's developed one-itis for this girl who's never really given him a shot. And she's got a new boyfriend. She's moved on. He has this fantasy in his head. We call this chronesthesia, right? Where you mentally time travel to the future and you imagine this life with this girl that you've never even met. And you're already thinking about the white picket fence and marrying her and having 2.5 kids and all this kind of stuff. And you build this fantasy up. And then when it's not working out, it fucking destroys you emotionally, right? We also call this in NLP future pacing. You start future pacing this idea of this fantasy and you fall in love with the fantasy. You're not really falling in love with the girl. You're falling in love with this fantasy and it's not real. It's in your head, Okay. So these guys with scarcity mindset, because they're going in on one girl, and when that doesn't work out, they're like emotionally and mentally crushed by it. Now dating sucks, and dating is this big, painful process. Yeah. a big part of having an effective dating strategy is using tools like social proof and pre-selection to your advantage. But Paul, I don't have any friends. But Paul, I don't have any options. Like, how am I going to build up the pre-selection if I don't have any girls now? How am I going to have social proof if I don't know anybody and I don't have friends? Well, you got to create it, don't you? Jesus Christ, guys, come on. There's different ways you could do this, right? A lot of the way you act and portray yourself on the dating circuit will signal through subtext that you have options and that people like you. Okay. She doesn't necessarily have to see you around other people if you're a busy guy, right? If you're a busy guy and you don't set dates on Friday or Saturday nights because you got plans, right? You don't set first dates with girls on Friday or Saturday nights. There's no texting after 6 p.m. on Friday or Saturday nights. Why? Because these are prime date nights, and guys who have lots of options with women and who are happening guys that have a lot of friends and have good social circles, well, they usually have plans Friday and Saturday nights. They don't have time for a girl who they just met. I already got plans. Okay. So if you never ask a girl out, like a girl that you've just met, and you never invite her on a date or for drinks on a Friday or Saturday night, and she's like, "Oh, what are you doing Friday?" And you're like, I got plans." Right? Let's meet up Sunday for brunch, right? Or let's meet up Sunday for whatever, right? You still have Sunday through Thursday to work with for new girls. A lot of guys like that, they just can't wrap their mind around this. They're like, "What? Like, but Friday and Saturday nights are the nights I go out. Like, what am I supposed to do?" You still have Sunday through Thursday to work with, bro. There's 7 fucking days in the week. What are you doing? Okay. You go out with girls you just met, new prospects, Sunday through Thursday. And then the girls that you're sleeping with, those are the girls you go out Friday and Saturdays. Okay. Until then, until you get a girl that you're sleeping with, you just go do your own shit on Friday or Saturday night. Like, stay busy, right? Go out and try to meet new women, right? Like, you could do that. That's one way that sub communicates that you're a guy with options. Okay. That's one. Another good thing, as I tell guys, to have a go-to place, right? Have one place you take a girl to for first dates. Why do I say this? Okay. There's lots of reasons to do this. Not a single reason not to do this. Okay. But, what do most guys do? Most guys, when they're asking a girl out, they go, "What do you want to do? What do you like to do? Where do you want to go? You want to maybe, I don't know, think about maybe coming and meeting me and hanging out sometime?" What the fuck does that mean? Right? If you ask a girl, "Hey, you seem like a cool chick. We should get together sometime. When are you free to get together?" Okay. That's direct communication. One might call it mode 1. Right? Mode 1's not just sexual, by the way. Mode 1 is just direct communication, just being direct. Okay. So you say, "When are you free to get together?" She says, "I'm free Thursday night." All right, cool. Thursday night, meet me at the Feisty Pint, 7 p.m. for drinks. Okay. Now you're telling her what to do. You're not asking her what she wants to do. You have a plan in mind. Most chicks just want a guy to have a plan in mind. You're going to get more yeses if you do that. Okay. But the go-to place, this is what's really cool about the go-to place, is when you go there, you've already been there a bunch of times. You develop this muscle memory. She's the only one on this first date. You've been there 100 times. Okay. And then what's really cool is you start to develop a relationship with the staff. There's your social proof. Okay. Just being a guy that they know. Right. And then girls might shit test you when the guy's like, "Well, aren't you going to worry about the waitress going to say something?" Waitresses want tips. Okay. They're not going to fuck up your date by saying something like that. They're pretty cool and they're used to this kind of shit. Okay. They're pretty cool about it. But if your date shit tests you, she says, oh, do you take all the girls here because, you happen to know everybody? Treat it like a shit test. Be like, only the cute ones, right? Agree and amplify. On dating apps, you can also use social proof by just having pics with like family. Like if you go to a family event and you have a group of people, I would say have at least one social proof pic. Okay, have one social proof pic. And if you have hot girls in that picture, even better, because that's pre-selection, right? Women like guys that other women like. It's a hack. Okay, use that stuff to your advantage. When I see a guy who's just not having any success on dating apps, I usually see the same thing. He's got 5 or 6 pictures taken within the same 10 minutes, and they're all selfies in the same location. Like, bro, why you just posted basically 6 of the same fucking picture? What you're doing with dating apps is you're creating a showcase of what your awesome life looks like, and you're inviting her to join your life. It's an advertisement. It's marketing, right? That's why it's important. It's important to have good pictures. We'll get into all that, okay? But guys, listen, this isn't just theory, okay? I've tested out all of this shit. I've done a lot of fucking practice on this stuff, okay? I've swapped notes with some of the best minds in the space too on all this stuff. There's a method to the madness. Okay. There's a method to the madness. And in the next segment, I'm going to share the moment that everything changed. Okay. Am I though? No, I'm not. I'm not going to share that. What the fuck do I have here on my notes? Just stay tuned. The next section is pretty fucking awesome. Guys, listen, follow me on social media. The links are in the description. I'm on all the good platforms. I'm really trying to build up my X account. So follow me on X. Nurse Chick also has an account on X. Give her a follow there too. Let me see if I can find Nurse Chick here. Nurse Chick, where's she at? Let's see. She's underscore Nurse Chick. Yeah, here she is. I've created an X account for Nurse Chick. She's got a book she's working on. And so we're building up her X account to help her market that book eventually. All right, guys. Yes, do that. So follow me on social media. The links are in the description. Guys, if you can't wait for the new book to come out, at least get my free ebook. Fine. Here's how you get her back. There's a link in the description. Okay. I'm going to tell you why trying to get your ex back. I'm going to show you how to do it. And then I'll also tell you why it's a terrible fucking idea. Okay. So grab that ebook right now. And then, guys, the new book, Forget That Bitch, it drops here on Friday. You can pre-order the Kindle edition now. I'm going to drop a link in the chat. There's also, if you're watching on YouTube right now, it's pinned at the top there, but you can pre-order the Kindle edition. But let me tell you about Mike the mechanic. Mike was 46, divorced, and feeling like he had missed the memo on modern dating. He could rebuild an engine blindfolded, but when it came to women, he was stalling out. Back in the day, he met his wife through mutual friends. Now it was swipe left, swipe right, ghosted. He had tried dating apps. He felt invisible. He would message women on Facebook, he'd get nothing but silence. Every failed attempt chipped away at his confidence. And then one night, after another bad first date, Mike sat alone in his garage with a beer and an old photo of his ex. Maybe I should just try to get her back, he muttered. At least she knew him. But deep down, he knew the truth. It wasn't about her. It was about him. He had no system. No strategy. He just had frustration. Well, then he found this book. Can you guys imagine this? Can you guys use a little of that chronesthesia here, okay? You're like, how did he find that book, Paul? It hasn't even come out yet. You know what I mean. It didn't promise magic. It didn't preach fake confidence or cheesy lines. It gave him a map, a method, a way to understand how modern dating actually works. From social circle game to dating apps to cold approach and even social media. He applied it step by step. Soon, Mike wasn't just dating, he was in demand. He built a social circle, learned how to stand out online, and rediscovered his own value. Eventually, he stopped looking back. That old photo of his ex, he tossed it. Mike didn't need to go back. He finally knew how to move forward. And you can too. The hardcover and the paperback and Audible editions drop this Friday. You can pre-order the Kindle edition today, right? Hit the link in the chat. I dropped it there. It's pinned at the top. It's also in the description, okay? And get your copy when it comes out. All right, let's talk about the emotional cost of doing it wrong. Let me tell you guys another story. It's story time with Paul Bebe. All right, this is about a guy named Jason. Jason wasn't starting from zero. He had his life together, or so it seemed. Decent job in tech, nice car, few hobbies. He worked out 3 days a week, stayed off the junk food. Friends told him, you'll have no problem getting back out there. But that's not how it went. The first dating app download felt like hope. He took a selfie, wrote a short bio, even paid for premium. Swiped for hours. Nothing. He thought maybe it was his photos, so he asked a friend with a DSLR camera to help. He updated his bio, swiped again, matched with someone, sent a message, no reply. 2 weeks in, his confidence cracked. He started researching dating tips like it was his full-time job. YouTube videos, Reddit forums, Instagram coaches. Everyone had the secret. He tried funny openers, then serious ones. He tried mirroring, negging, voice messages, long text, short text, emojis, no emojis. He started questioning things he never questioned before. His looks, his voice, his age. He began to overanalyze everything. From what shoes he wore to whether he said hey or hi in his messages. In those 6 months, he went on 3 actual dates. One talked about her ex the whole time. One checked her phone all through dinner. The last one ghosted after the first drink. Each time he walked home alone, it wasn't just disappointment. It was erosion, like a slow leak in his identity, because Jason wasn't just failing at dating. He was starting to feel unwanted. That kind of rejection isn't loud. It's quiet. It seeps in. He started avoiding eye contact in public, stopped initiating conversations at work, started dressing down because what's the point? The juice isn't worth the squeeze, bro. He wasn't just losing dates. He was losing himself. And still, he blamed everything but the actual problem. Women just want the attention. These apps are rigged. Dating today is broken. But deep down, something gnawed at him. Maybe the problem isn't the world. Maybe it's me not knowing how to play the game. He hadn't learned the rules. He had no map. He was trying to win a strategy game with emotion and hope. And that 6-month spiral, it wasn't about not getting dates. It was about watching his self-respect slip away every day he didn't figure it out. Who here is in this spot right now or has been in this spot at least once in your life, right? Drop a 1 in the chat if you've been where Jason was. I'll drop a 1 in the chat. I've been there. Ooh, there we go. I was like Jason right after my marriage, to be honest. No clue how to date. I guess I will tell you my story and how I turned things around. I was just like dating Jason after my marriage, right? I had no clue how to date. It took me about 11 months of spinning my wheels before a woman finally threw me a bone, right? I did go on a handful of dates in that time. They all didn't fucking work. Have I ever told you the story of Pocahontas? But I floundered around the dating circuit after my marriage. I hadn't dated I hadn't had practice dating in like 15 years at that point, and all of a sudden it was a whole new world. We didn't have dating apps when I met my now ex-wife. I met her at a party from mutual friends from high school, social circle game, right? You basically had cold approach and social circle. That's how you met chicks back in the 80s and 90s, you know? And so now I found myself back on the dating circuit in 2014, and there's dating apps and shit now. And I'm like, oh, it's going to be easy. It's going to be like shooting fish in a barrel. You can just fucking like order a chick like you order pizza, right? Like that's what I thought Tinder was going to be like. It's not like that. It's not like that. So after floundering around, after pure dumb luck, I finally met a chick that threw me a bone. That was Red Pill Chick, right? And what did I do? I immediately went all in with her because the dating circuit sucked and I wanted to get the fuck out. How many of you guys are on the dating circuit right now and you're just hoping to find one girl that's nice to you so you can get the fuck out of the dating circuit? Drop a 1 in the chat. Okay, I know how it is. I've been there. Okay, so what did I do? Right, immediately went all in on her because I wanted to get out. Well, after Red Pill Chick, after losing 50 pounds, right? So when I met Red Pill Chick, I was 50 pounds overweight, and she was kind of into bigger guys. So it worked in my favor, but after I dated her for about a year, I had enough of that. And I decided to start taking my fitness seriously. And I took up running, and I took up working out, and I started losing weight, and I started watching my calories. I lost all that weight while I was with Red Pill Chick. So I lost 50 pounds. And then, so when we broke up, I was able to get dates. Dates all of a sudden were fucking easy to get, right? If you're really struggling on the dating circuit right now, take a look in the mirror, man. Like, are you overweight? Are you, because 75% of you guys out there are obese, right? Or at least overweight. And if you're just not fat, you're already in the top 15 to 20% of guys on dating apps already, just by not being fat. So you're going to get more dates just by not being fat, okay? If you're not fat, okay, and you're still not getting dates, like it's going to come down to probably your pictures in your bio, right? You probably have shitty ass pictures, probably really bad pictures, okay? Anyway, so I lost all the weight. I was able to get dates, but I couldn't keep women around more than 2 or 3 dates. Okay. Why? I finally figured it out. I was needy as fuck. Dude, I was a needy motherfucker, right? You know how I talked about how most of us just want to get the fuck off the dating circuit because we hate the dating process? That was me. I hated it so much that I really just didn't want to be on the dating circuit anymore. Okay. So I was always pushing to see them more, texting all the time, trying to push for a relationship before even getting to know these women. I was that guy. I was like, hey, so where are we now? Like, oh, so we've seen each other twice. So are you seeing anybody? Because I'm not seeing anybody. Are we exclusive? Right? Fuck it. How many of you guys are doing this right now? Be honest with yourselves. Okay. Or at least have you done this before? Drop a 1 in the chat if this is either you right now or you've done this. Okay. I talk about it right now. I'm dropping a 1 in the chat for myself. The realization that I was doing something wrong, though, is what gave me the epiphany, right? Of like, there was something. It was like, what the fuck is wrong with me? I'm repelling women, right? The 2 biggest relationships in my life have failed. I can't keep chicks around longer than 2 or 3 dates. There's something I'm doing wrong here, right? I didn't fall into the trap of going, modern women, dating apps don't work. Okay, so that's the difference between guys that have success and the guys that are perpetually online bitching about women, right? The guys that have success don't look at, oh, women and the fucking dating apps suck or whatever. They look at like, okay, there's clearly guys get dates. Clearly guys date or meet women on dating apps. Clearly guys get into relationships. from dating apps. There must be a method to the madness. I just don't know what that method is. All right. It's a skill issue. Same thing with cold approach. Same thing. You know, all this stuff is a skill issue, right? You can waste months, even years doing it wrong, or you can make a change now. Coming up next, I'll walk you through the step-by-step blueprint I teach my coaching clients, what actually works today, and we'll go deep on that. But first, guys, let me encourage you guys to join the Wolf Pack. Let me ask you a question. Who wants to run with the Wolves, baby?
Beer club? Not anymore.
Home, midlife drift, feeling alone. You don't need hacks, blogs, lies. You need men with fire in their eyes. We rebuild from the ground up. No excuses, no soft stuff. Telegram lit 24/7. Brothers locked in steel, not heaven. Step inside the pack. We don't fall, we attack. Truth, fire, presence, we bring it back. Masculine pride, no time to slack. Step inside the pack. Drop your past, claim your track. No therapy talk, no playing small. We sharpen blades, we take it all.
Ooh, drop them 2 sweets if you're in the Wolf Pack, baby. All right. Hey, and then guys, if you want to work with me one-on-one, you can book a call by going to call.fixdeadbedrooms.com. If you guys need help getting over this divorce and breakup situation and you need help getting back out there, I can help you with that. Okay. All right. Let's get back into this here. Diversify your game. Okay. Like I said at the beginning, there's basically 4 ways to meet women. You got to find a method that you like doing, right? And that works best for you and your lifestyle. Okay. So you have social circle game where you have friends and you sort of date within that friends group, right? This is like the old school way of meeting chicks. And there's lots of ways to do this sort of thing. One way, if I wanted to do social circle game out here, what I'd probably do is I'd probably join one of the local softball leagues, right, in the summertime. Because I actually dated a girl. She was a crazy bitch. She's crazy bitch. I'll tell you guys here a story about that in a second. I've told it on the podcast before, but she was really big into the local softball leagues. And I one time went out to go watch her play a game. And there was it was a decent mix of guys and gals on the team. It was co-ed, but almost all the chicks on the team were hot. Like they were all pretty hot chicks, And what's funny is I dated 2 softball girls out here. I actually met them on dating apps, but they both played in the softball rec league out here on 2 different teams. One was in Montrose and one was down here in Delta. But that's a good way of doing it, right? Like on the weekends, go play softball with these chicks. You develop a natural chemistry and rapport with them. It's pretty easy to meet chicks doing stuff like that. So you just got to find like a social activity that chicks are drawn to. Okay. So softball would be one of them out here. You can also, once you sort of develop a social circle, get in other social circles as much as you can. And it's great for networking, for business. There's lots of benefits to the social circle game besides getting chicks, right? Going back to that crazy chick though, this crazy chick after like we sort of got together, we hooked up a couple times, and then like we parted ways. She was like a plate. It was never anything serious. It was always sort of a plate status type thing. And then like a couple months later, we met back up. Dated again for a little bit and then went away. She's just crazy chick, right? And one of the red flags that sort of kept me from doing anything serious with her is how she was divorced, and she would always talk about all the petty shit she would do to her ex-husband. And I'm like, man, like I can never be with a chick like this, like, because you're going to be the next guy that she does that kind of crap to, right? So anyway, nothing serious, but a couple years later, her daughter was next door at my neighbor's house playing with the kids over here. And so my son went over there to go play with them, because he used to go over there and hang out in the summertime. They used to have like a trampoline over here and stuff. And so he would go over there and play with them. And anyway, her daughter was over there, and she goes to my son. She goes, my mom said that she fucked your dad. And my son came to me and said, hey, Peyton said that you fucked his mom. And I was just like, why? What kind of mother tells her child these types of things? That's fucking crazy, man. That's fucking crazy. Anyway. So you have social circle game. Then you have apps. Okay. There's different ways to optimize your photos and bio, voice messages over text. Okay. I talk about it and everything I wish I knew when I was 18. I have a whole entire dating and spinning plates chapter. It's the most comprehensive chapter in the book. Okay. I also have a dating course. If you guys want to check it out, dates.comeonmanpod.com. But if you guys are cheap bastards, then at least get the book. Okay. But dating apps really comes down to four things: your pictures, your bio, how you open, and how you close. Right. If your pictures suck, you're not going to get matches. You're going to get swiped left on. If your bio is like super long and you give everything about yourself away, that's boring and uninteresting. Like, chicks are going to swipe left. Okay. And if you're overly negative, no one's going to want to hang out with you. Right. You see these funny pictures of guys dating apps online where a guy talks about how his kids are his world and, you better step up. And like, basically they take all the stupid shit that single moms say and they played it back to women. I'm like, yeah, that's funny as hell, but you're never going to get a date being a negative douche like that. You know what I mean? Less is more in your bio. And then how you open. I used to have available 20 dating app openers. It's still available if you join the Wolf Pack. It's in the pinned comments. But I had a list of 20 dating app openers that you could use to, open with women. Because here's how it works with women on dating apps. Okay, they are so inundated with options, right? They basically have like a relatively attractive girl has an 80 to 90% match rate. Right. All she has to do is she swipes right. I guarantee that guy's already swiped on her and there's almost an instant match. So she's got 1,000 options. So what women do to filter out their options is they just look at the preview pane in their inbox. I learned this because I went to a men's retreat with a friend of mine in the space, this guy named Benny, and he used to be a dating coach. Now he's a breakup coach. He'll help you get your ex back, bro. I'll help you forget that bitch. Anyway, so I went out there. It was out in Georgia. It was a really great event. And his wife at the time, I think they're broken up now, unfortunately. But man, if he can get her back, dude, that talk about marketing, right? Anyway, so his wife set up a dating profile like on the way up to the retreat, and on the way up there, she swiped on like a bunch of dudes. She had 100 matches by the time she even got up to the retreat. Right. And she showed us how she would go through dating apps. And it was literally, like I say, they look at the preview pane. And so if you have an unoriginal, stupid, boring opener, they don't even look at you. Right. You have to capture her attention in the first 7 like words. You have about 7 words in that preview pane. We call this in marketing a hook. Right. You've got to have a good hook to capture her attention. I'm studying Russell Brunson's books, right? Russell Brunson says your sales funnel, and in this case, your dating funnel, it all comes down to your hook, your story, and your offer, right? If you're getting girls swiping right on you, your pictures are probably pretty good, okay? But if you can't get girls to open your messages, your hook's probably pretty bad. right? So if you get her attention with a good hook, then what she's going to do is go, okay, well, what's this picture look like? And if your first picture looks somewhat attractive, she'll click on it and go, okay, what's this guy about? She'll look at all your pictures, and then she might do a cursory scan of your bio. She's not going to read a full, long, lengthy fucking letter about yourself. Like if you ever read Corey Wayne's book, he says, Google Corey Wayne, the ultimate online dating profile. If you go look at that, it's very outdated. It's very long-winded. And then Corey's recommendation for dating apps will never work for you, where he just says, hey, I don't have a lot of time on here. Here's my number. Like people aren't going to do that anymore on dating. It's not going to work. Okay. So less is more. The bio I show you and everything I wish I knew when I was 18 is a better bio, right? It's more effective. And then how you open, right, is your hook. And then you got to banter no longer than like 10, 15 messages max before you find a segue to set that definite date. You want to close her within a small period of time when you meet them on the dating app. You don't want to drag that out for days on end. Okay. You have cold approach, meeting people organically in person, grocery store, at the mall, at a bar or whatever. It's hard to meet people at a bar, especially if it's a loud bar. So quieter bar, maybe. Okay. But like a nightclub, bad idea. Anywhere where it's fucking loud as shit, terrible idea. Okay. Especially if you guys are old, old dogs like me, going to the old, like loud nightclubs. It's not going to be your thing. Save that. That's for the young people, right? Go to maybe a quiet bar would be okay, but meeting people at the supermarket and stuff like that. There's basically 3 levels of testing that you're doing with that. It's very simple. You just got to strike up a conversation with them, right? You can do this various ways. You just walk up to them and be direct and be like, hey, I thought you were cute. And I thought I'd come up and I would kick myself if I didn't come up and talk to you. Okay. Or you could just, walk up and start a conversation. That's the way I like to. It's very mode 2, but it works. Right. You walk up and you're walking up to a girl and she's looking at cantaloupes, right? Looking at cantaloupes in the produce department. You walk up and say, hey, what's the best way to find a ripe cantaloupe? I could never figure that out. And just have her, well, this is what I do, right? Like women will love to give you advice. Okay. That's level 1 testing right there. Level 2, you just turn that into a conversation. You turn about cantaloupes, then you introduce yourself, right? You get her talking. As long as she doesn't say something about like, my husband or my boyfriend, and she keeps interacting with you, now move it to level 3. This is where most guys quit. Most guys quit before they even get to level 3 because level 2 is going so well, I don't want to fuck it up, right? Well, level 3 is you require something of her. Usually it's asking for a number, right? Great way to do that is pull your phone out and say, look, you're a cool chick. We should continue this conversation over drink sometime. Open up the contacts thing and say, give me your number, and hand her your phone, right? We call this a close. You're assuming the sale with that. Okay. We used to do that. I used to do door-to-door office supply sales, and we would do that. We had this like sort of laminated thing that talked about our ink cartridges, and you would walk up and hand it to people, because if they had it in their hand, they were more likely to buy, right? If you hand your girl your phone, she's more likely to give you her number. Okay. Cold approach. Social media. Now, this is what's really cool. And this is really the secret sauce of my dating course, because I go into depth on this in my dating course, right? Go to dates.comeonmanpod.com and I break it down. But you basically use Facebook proper, not Facebook dating. Facebook proper, the actual Facebook, or you can use Instagram for this, although it works better on Facebook. But it's basically like Amazon shopping for chicks, because a big problem with dating apps is you're sort of handed what's available in the market. Now, what's good about dating apps is that no one's on dating apps to find friends, okay? You already know that the person there is looking for a date, right? They're looking to meet a man. So you already have this sort of mutual reason why you're on the app. You don't have to guess. With cold approach and with Facebook and Instagram game, you're taking a little bit of a guess, right? You sort of are going to cursory look through women in your area's profiles and see if they're married or not. Look at their relationship status. If they say they're single, add them as a friend, right? If they don't have a relationship status, but you sort of do a cursory look through their profile and they look like they're probably single, you add them as a friend. And you're basically going to build up a pipeline of chicks that you're eventually going to DM with a video message. It's a virtual cold approach, and it's very bold, and it works very well. Okay. Those are your 4 methods. And you need to have an abundance mindset shift. Most of you guys are not having success in dating because you have a scarcity mindset, right? You see this all the time with guys that are trying to forget that bitch, right? They think that their ex is the one. She's 1 in a million. I'll never find a girl like her. Okay. If she's 1 in a million and there's 4 billion women on the planet, mathematically, there's 4,000 women just like her out there. Okay. You're going to be fine. But this is why we spin plates. We spin plates not to be players necessarily, but so that we keep our options open. We don't get sucked into the trap of one-itis with one girl and then get our hearts fucking ripped out, right? You go out there, you talk to lots of girls. You start talking to one girl on a dating app, you keep swiping. You keep sourcing new women. The work never stops, okay? You keep going out there and you want to date multiple women at once. But Paul, I have a hard time getting one woman. How am I going to do this, okay? There's a method to the madness. I'm fucking telling you, okay? The thing is, once you get more women, you become more attractive because women can sense that you have options with other women. They can sense this by the way you act. Right? The worst thing you can tell a woman if she asks you, hey, are you seeing anyone else? Is to go, oh, no, I'm not seeing anyone else. You might as well tell her you don't fuck and you don't get pussy. Right? That subconsciously, that tells women no other women like you or want you. Why should I? So instead, when a woman says, hey, you seeing anyone else? Just playfully say, well, I always got room for one more. Right? That could mean you're seeing 100 women, you're seeing 3 other women, you're not seeing any other women. It can mean anything. Just let her hamster wheel work. Okay. That's going to help you out. All right. But the more you act as if, the more you're going to start collecting these plates, right? They're going to like you. They're going to assume like, oh, he's not asking me out on a Friday night. He must be busy with another woman. Right? That actually creates competition anxiety. They want to actually win. Women naturally are competitive with other women, right? If they think that you're a high value guy, they're going to be more invested in trying to get you locked down. All these other girls like him. I better lock this guy fucking down. Right? But the thing is that once you actually do start dating multiple women, you realize, oh man, this is actually way easier than trying to lock down one girl at a time and then going all in and wasting 3 months of my time and then have to start all over again every 3 months. Because even once you start getting plates, like those plates are all going to fall off eventually, or you might like have them come and go. They might all do it at once. You guys start all over. But once you realize you can do this, it's not a big deal. You're like, oh, I'll just get some more. Right? That's abundance mentality. Because now you're like, I don't care if they come and go. I'll get another one. There's always another woman. There's another bus every 15 minutes, as Corey Wayne says. But that gives you that confidence with women that you realize, man, there is a method to the madness. Like this works. This works on a majority of women. Okay, like this, like I have fun with it. And you let go of that attachment to outcome and you're just like treat it like a science experiment and just have fun with it. It becomes a kind of a fun experience. And this is a system, right? This is a system. And as long as you apply it, as long as you work it, it will work for you, right? As opposed to hacks, like, oh, this quick dating hack, right? This one pickup line that gets them, right? 60% of the time, it works every time. Like, you can't scale that, but you can scale a system. Let's talk about some of the frameworks I talk about in my book. I talk about status signaling, right? So I talk about how leading, making confident decisions, being the man with a plan, that displays confidence and dominance. right? It's a very subtle but powerful way to signal your status to women. Women are attracted to a man's status or perceived status. So by being a guy who's decisive, that sets the tone, that doesn't ask her when she's free, or it doesn't ask her what she wants to do and tells her what to do, all that kind of stuff, women are drawn to that naturally. Okay. Especially in group dynamics or social environments where your behavior gets indirectly evaluated by others. This is where social circle game is kind of cool, right? Because if you're getting along with everybody and everyone's laughing at your jokes, that signals status. It's like, man, everyone likes this guy. I should like him too. Women are easily hacked that way. Social proof is this thing I talk about quite a bit in the book, right? Social, going out, being social, getting used to talking to strangers everywhere you go. Okay. Getting engaged in a variety of social circles, going to being a regular at your go-to place so that you get to know the staff there, all that kind of stuff, build your attractiveness, right? If you get to a place where you're hosting your own events and let's say you're joined multiple social circles, and then you host your own events and you invite people from your different social circles to go to your event, that's automatic status right there. You're the host. You're the head honcho now. That's an immediate status hack, okay? It establishes pre-approval and comfort for women as you're already vouched for by others, okay? Do you see how this works and how you might want to incorporate this into your game plan? And then a big thing that I talk about is be attractive, don't be unattractive. It's very common red pill maxim, right? Be attractive, don't be unattractive. I kicked a hornet's nest of incels on Monday on X. They're still mad. They're still commenting on this stuff, right? And one of the things I asked one of the guys was, well, have you tried being more attractive? And that pissed them off even more. They're like, what a dumb question. And right, like, but people just don't get it. They don't get it. They think being attractive is all about your looks. It's not. That's only part of the equation. Be attractive is your looks, how you dress, right? How you're grooming. Do you fucking shower, bro? A lot of these incels probably aren't even showering. They're fat, overweight. They've got a neck beard and they don't shower and they stink, right? They have no social skills. They can work on all that kind of stuff and improve their situation. Instead, they'd rather bitch online, right? So be attractive is your look, right? How you carry your appearance, your grooming, the clothes you wear, all that kind of stuff. Don't be unattractive is your demeanor, your attitude, how you carry yourself. Are you online looking for pity from people because women won't fuck you? That's unattractive behavior, right? That's one of the things I'm trying to drill home with these guys, in those groups. And make no mistake, like I know a vast majority of those guys aren't going to do fuck all to change their situation, okay? But every once in a while, when I kick an incel's hornet's nest or a MGTOW's hornet's nest, I shake a couple of guys loose that shouldn't be there, right? There's always a couple of guys that have gravitated towards that because we have a negativity bias. It's really easier to commiserate and complain about your situation than it is to do something about it. It almost feels better to just do that, right? Every once in a while, I'll go in there and I'll kick a hornet's nest and I'll wake someone up, right? Even if it's like, 1,000 of those guys, stinging me with their fucking stupid incel, stingers. I'll get a one guy who goes, man, maybe he's got a point. Maybe I'll tune into his podcast. Maybe I'll give him a chance, right? And they'll tune into a podcast and they'll go, holy shit, I never realized this, right? And that's what makes this all worthwhile. Guys, everything I just shared just scratches the surface though, okay? The real transformation, that's inside the book. Forget that bitch, all right? Remember, it's going to be available in all formats, paperback, hardcover, Kindle, and the audio version. They all should drop this Friday. There's a huge sale going on right now on Audible. And they were originally going to postpone my new book so that it would come out after the sale. And I was like, no, just drop it. So if you guys get it when it comes out on Friday, the sale should still be going on. You can get it for less. If you guys have an Audible subscription, just get it as a part of your subscription. Okay. But that should come out this Friday. The workbook is already out. I have an accompanying workbook that you just do on a daily basis. It's got daily prompts and weekly challenges to help snap you out of this, help you forget that bitch for good, and how to help you move on with your life and get better with women and do it better in the next relationship. Okay. Do a search for Paul Bauer on Amazon. You'll find all my stuff. You can actually go to books.comeonmanpod.com and find all this stuff too. You can find the Kindle edition and pre-order it there as well. This isn't just about fixing you though. Okay. It's about showing you how to build a system that makes dating and relationships effortless. And what we just covered will open the doors, but if you want to walk through them and take back control, grab the book, do the workbook. And if you want some one-on-one help with any of this stuff, then definitely book a call with me by going to call.fixdeadbedrooms.com. All right. We got a whole lot of comments here. We got one super chat. Hold on. We've got, brother Kamal from the Wolfpack, 5.99 euros. It looks like. Please stop giving us so much value in Wolfpack. I'm tired of winning. It's a real problem. It's a real problem in there. We're just fucking winning all the time. But since you sent that winning super chat and you are a Wolfpack brother, I'm going to give you the bouncing titties today.
Thank you for the super chats. Boobies bouncing, can't stop that. From the east to the west, you are the best. Keep those chats coming in, let's do it all again.
Miles says, sounds like AI music. I think you're talking about the Wolfpack's song. Yeah, do you think I can fucking play that music? Fuck out of here. Of course not. Yes, Erkin, you're right. Diversify your portfolio. That's right. What about being very brief and I mean, so I recommend like maybe 2 small paragraphs at best. That's about it. Any less than that, like if you just have like a 1-sentence thing, I don't think that's enough. Right. But yeah, man, what's he say? LOL. Corey's advice is good, but technology isn't his strength. He still uses email to communicate. Yeah. Run clubs. Well, you know what? I was in a run club and it was all old people. Like I said, I live out in like retirement communities. So like all the women in run club were all in their like 50s and 60s and shit. It wasn't a good place to meet chicks. Although, well, I'll take that back. I did meet my runner friend Tyrene there. Tyrene's pretty attractive, but I would never date her though. She's a little crazy. She's a little crazy, but she's a good people. And I think I met her at Run Club. I think I met her at Run Club. She was probably the most like eligible. Actually, she was married when she first joined Run Club, so she wasn't even eligible then, right? So otherwise, all the other chicks there were all fucking in their 50s and stuff. Run Club wasn't good, but yeah, I went to that softball game one time, and it was like all hot chicks. I was like, oh, I'm in the wrong thing. And then I met another chick maybe a year later. I met another chick down in Montrose who I met her on Tinder, and somehow like we started chatting and she talked about how she's into softball and she's on a softball team in Montrose. And I'm like, oh, do you know my friend Allie? And my friend Allie, I went to high school with, and I knew she was playing softball down in Montrose. So she goes, oh, we're best friends. What are you talking about? And that was cool. That gave me automatic social proof. She went and talked to her friend Allie, and her friend Allie vouched for me. And so we ended up hooking up. So anyway, social circle. It works, man. It works. Guys, tune into the podcast on Friday. We'll be talking about how to recover from a toxic relationship and developing the frame and mindset to do that. The book will be out then too. So hopefully I hear from you guys in the chat that you guys ordered it. The workbook's on the way and you're getting ready to dive into that sort of thing. But that's what we're going to talk about. Fridays are Frame Fridays. And a lot of this book is about forgetting that bitch, right? That's all mindset stuff. And so we're going to go over a lot of those types of concepts on Friday. Do tune into that. That's all I got. We will see you guys then.
This has been the Come On Man podcast. Now, go out and get it.